Welcome, my friend, to the 8th chapter of the Direct Treatment Masterclass, in which I'm teaching you the most important skill that you can master as a filmmaker, and that is selling your creative vision and ideas to clients using direct treatments. The 8th chapter, in which I'm going to show you step by step, click by click, a tutorial on how to create a treatment from scratch. Last chapter, the theory, the fundamentals, this one, a tutorial. So without further ado, let's dive into my computer. Let me take you through this whole process from the get-go. So we are inside my computer, how to create a treatment from scratch. And before I dive in, let me quickly recap once more where do we stand, what have we learned so far. If you don't need this information because you have already because you already understand everything so far, please use the chapter is in the timeline link below, and you can scroll through the next chapters or the tutorial or whatever which part is relevant to you. But yeah, let me quickly recap for those that like to have a quick recap. So first off, one learning: I have over 10 years of filmmaking experience and 300 plus million views on my work, but I don't have any Oscars or Emmys on the shelf. So you don't have to agree with everything that I'm sharing. But if you can take away one valuable lesson that can help you land a new client, your time and effort in this masterclass will be well spent, because you only need one client, one learning to get the next client, and then the work that you've done for that client will attract clients who like the work that you've done for that client, and then you'll have this ripple effect, and everything originated hopefully from something that you have learned from this course. But yeah, although I have a long list of project successes, I don't have any new memorable awards on the shelf. So yeah, you don't have to agree with everything I'm sharing. Nonetheless, next point. So we need a business mindset. To create winning treatments, it is crucial to approach pitching with a business mindset. This means focusing on solving your client's problems in exchange for money, because we cannot make money. We can only exist. Our business can exist if other people give us their money. And when do people give you their money? When you solve a problem for them. Just like when you are hungry, you have a problem, you feel hungry, you need energy because you need to be on a film set and you need to feel energized. So you are willing to give a supermarket your money, you're willing to give a business your money in exchange of them helping you solve the problem of feeling hungry and then feeling energized again to be a rock star director on the film set. So yeah, other people give you their money when you solve a problem. Works the same for filmmaking. So we need a business mindset for solving and pitching, creating treatments. Now, when it comes to treatments, pitching through treatments is all about offering solutions to solve a client's problem and deliver the outcomes that they are looking for. When you present a solution that solves their problem, your idea gains value, making them more likely to invest in your offer. So this is what a treatment actually is. A treatment is a tool to help you sell the stuff that's in your mind, to frame your ideas in a way that it solves their problem. That is what a treatment is. Now, in order to solve someone's problem, we first need to think like a doctor. And just as a doctor diagnoses before prescribing solutions or medicines or operations, you must understand a client's problem before proposing a solution. Ask open-ended questions to uncover the problem. And once you know what it is, finding the right solution becomes much easier. Just like a good friend, when something is wrong with your buddy, you ask them, hey, what's wrong? How can I help you? Instead of just saying, you need to drink this. And they'll be like, but this doesn't solve my problem, right? Works the same for filmmaking. Instead of just saying and forcing your ideas and vision onto a client, just ask them, what do you want? What does this music video have to do? Why is this idea important to you? What does this commercial have to do? What does this documentary have to tell? Why is that story important? What goals do you want to achieve with this movie? Etc., etc. So first, diagnose a problem, propose a solution via your treatment to solve that problem, and when you pinpoint the right problem and offer them the right solution, your idea will be perceived as valuable and they will give you their money because you can solve their problem. Okay, next one. So confidence. Clients will hire you if they feel confident that you can deliver the results they need without risking their money or their job. So to instill confidence in their mind, your treatment should incorporate 3 essential elements: trust, belief, and proof. Nobody wants to lose their money. Nobody wants to lose their job. So they have to feel confident that if they give you their money, they need to feel confident you can help them solve their problem so they can get the outcome that they are looking for. And to do that, you need trust, belief, and proof. And now, to instill this trust, belief, and proof, clients must trust that you are a skilled expert capable of solving their specific problems. They need to believe that your solution will help them get the outcome they are looking for, supported by proof that you've successfully solved similar problems before. This is why clients always look for similar projects that you have done in your portfolio, because that shows that you are capable of solving similar problems just like them, just like you want to... You read reviews when you hire a plumber to fix your broken toilet, because then you know this person is a skilled problem solver, he is trustworthy as an expert, and backed up by proof that reviews from other people that he has solved the same problem that you are facing before. And therefore the outcome that you are looking for is you feel more confident that this person will give you the outcome that you're looking for, and that is solving the broken pipe or the broken toilet. And to do that, in a pitch, in a treatment, you need to answer 6 key questions. So to establish trust, belief, and proof, your pitch should clearly address 6 crucial questions. Who are you? What problem do you solve? How will you solve that problem? Where will you solve it? When will the problem be solved? And why should they choose you to solve their problem as fast as possible? Because if there is no urgency, you can answer all the questions in the world. But if there is no urgency involved, they won't hire you. They might ghost you. And this is why there is always on sales in stores, there is always a 3-day sale. Or when you go on a website, there is a countdown timer, because that instills the sense of urgency. And we need to do the same, because otherwise, there is no urgency involved, and there is no... they could hire you next week or next month or never. Right? You are the price because you are the problem solver and your availability is limited. And that's why they should hire you as fast as possible if they want to get the chance of working with you. So when it comes to writing a treatment, the biggest problem that people fear, that I feared as well, was beating my writer's block. Now, in the day and age that we live right now with AI, you have to realize that writing is all about rewriting. So the key to writing a treatment is to start quickly rather than waiting for the perfect idea to arrive. Tools like template text and writing software such as ChatGPT can help you beat your writer's block as fast as possible. Because writing is all about rewriting, and using the template text and the AI tools that I have discussed in the previous videos, you can get down something on the paper, bounce your ideas off, and get going as fast as possible, because speed is perfection. And within the treatment process, there is always a lot of urgency and speed involved. And you usually have to deliver your treatments very fast after the treatment request. So speed is perfection. I highly recommend using AI tools to beat your writer's block. Then, when it comes to writing, only promise what you can deliver within the budget, and use descriptive language to convey your vision and ideas while emphasizing how your creative choices align with achieving the client's desired outcome. Avoid jargon and excessive references. Remember, you are the expert, not them. You are the filmmaking expert. And of course, in the beginning, you might overpromise a little bit, but it's better to underpromise and overdeliver than the other way around, because there will be a very bad client experience and they will highly likely never hire you again. So better to not promise elephants and explosions and helicopter rides, and instead use drone footage or stock footage, or find budgetary friendly alternatives for the ideas that you have in your mind. So when it comes to design of a treatment, so how your treatment looks is as important as what it says. A clear, well-designed document helps clients better understand your ideas. So that's what we are going to discuss in this video, how to design a super sleek professional document. And the best way to do that is to keep it simple. So customize your treatment for the project using a simple design in the clear text, high quality images, and readable fonts make your message easy to follow. All right, so the 8th chapter, designing a treatment tutorial. This is what I'm going to cover in this video. So first, I'm going to talk about some final design tips, some important things to remember. Then I'm going to do the tutorial, and then some information about exporting, because we can design a beautiful document, but we have to export it in a way that the other person receiving the treatment can actually read it. And quick summary at the end. So as always, if you want to get access to all the secret stuff that I don't share anywhere else, make sure to sign up to my newsletter, robinpere.com/newsletter, because here is where I share all the secret stuff. Then you can follow me on all the socials for exclusive content. The handle is @robinpere, and I need your help. Please help me share this course. Share it with your buddies, your filmmaking friends. It's free. It's on YouTube. No costs involved. And I hope that we can change this, what is perceived as an annoying part of the filmmaking industry. I think a lot of it comes down to not knowing how to actually approach pitching and sales, which is a nasty word in the creative world. So I need your help. Let's change people's lives together. Please help me share this course. And a quick warning though, this is the most important video of the entire course at this stage. So if you haven't watched the first 7 episodes, I highly recommend you do, because although I just have given you a quick rundown of all the points I have covered, it is better to understand the fundamentals of pitching ideas and selling your ideas to a client before diving into this one. So watch it from beginning to end without skipping any parts, just like the other videos. I share so much information, so much insight, so much first-hand knowledge, some of it which you won't find anywhere else unless it's behind a paywall. Go back and watch everything. I'll put links down in the description below, so it's easier for you to go back. And a little pro tip, English is not my native language, and you might be scared due to the length of these videos, so I highly recommend to watch them in double speed, save yourself some time, and it will be a much easier experience. So, first off, some design tips. All right, design tips. So, first off, I want to highlight once again, there are no hard rules. I want to highlight once again, no strict rules on design or content for your treatment, only guidelines. So, whatever video you find online that says you should do it like this and that, it is just guidelines. Because when it comes to solving a problem and presenting a solution to someone's problem, every problem is unique, so every solution is unique, and no hard rules. So the goal is to customize your treatment to fit the job and your personal style and sell a solution to a problem. So that's the first one. And then less is more. So great design is all about keeping things simple. This way people focus on the idea itself rather than the design of your presentation. You can make the most stunning design possible, but if it doesn't solve the problem, it won't help you win the pitch. So solution comes first, design comes second, but it is really important to present a sleek document, because all the ideas, the stuff that makes sense in your mind doesn't necessarily make sense in somebody else's mind. Some people are not the creative thinkers, just like you and I. We need visuals, we need mostly visuals and stunning imagery to convey the stuff that's in our mind, so the other person can grasp the ideas that we have, and so they can buy into your vision and give you the job. So imagery, so instead of relying on text-heavy documents, incorporate plenty of high-quality images that align with your project's theme. This is not only what makes your idea more compelling, but also gives your presentation a polished, professional look. Ensure that the images match the mood and message of your pitch, and avoid using low-quality or watermarked visuals. In the last video, in the one before this one, I dove deep into the fundamentals of design and showed you lots of references of how to work and what not to use. So go back and watch that video before diving deeper into this one. And then also readability. So since solutions are communicated through words, the readability of your text is the most crucial aspect of your design. Every design choice, whether it's aspect ratio, imagery, typography, or layout, should support easy readability at all times. Because if people cannot read it, a confused buyer doesn't buy. So it all comes down to keeping things as simple as possible and making sure that people can actually read it. Also regarding the imagery and readability, if you want to know where to find fonts, where to find images, go back, watch the video before this one, chapter 7, in which I share all the resources and the search terms that you can use on search, on the right visual search engines. And then first impressions matter. So first impressions are important. On the cover of your treatment, use imagery that evokes emotion, incorporate the latest versions of your clients' logos, and avoid using images with competitor products. Because if you are pitching for an Apple commercial, you don't want to use a Samsung product on the cover, although that is might be a beautiful reference. So avoid those kind of mistakes. So that comes down to attention to detail. So every element in your document will influence how your ideas are perceived. Even small details can lead to unintended interpretations. So it's crucial to be mindful of how each design choice and piece of content may impact your message. And I can understand that you might say, well, Robin, I'm a filmmaker, I'm not a designer. And I think that's perfectly normal. So I think it's natural to think I'm a filmmaker, not a designer, and that's perfectly fine. Ultimately, it's the strength of your ideas that win the pitch, not the design. So the goal is to streamline the design process so you can focus more on the content. Remember, a great idea outweighs the design every time. So in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to do the design stuff as fast as possible so you can focus on ideas, still present a beautiful document. I also want to highlight that there are plug-and-play solutions. So if you want to bypass the design phase altogether, I've created templates that allow you to present your ideas at lightning speed. These plug-and-play solutions help you showcase your solutions without having to start from scratch. First link in the description. You can scroll through my treatments. I have helped more than 1,300 designers, photographers, directors, commercial directors, creative agencies, production companies, you name it. All people have passed by, and I've helped them create beautiful documents and win the pitch. So yeah, if you are looking for plug-and-play solutions, there are also ghost writing, designing, and visual research companies out there. Just Google them. I won't drop any names, but yeah. There are many different ways, if you are not as good at design, to still create a beautiful document within a short time frame. All right, now let's dive into the tutorial. I want to highlight before I dive in that I'm going to do this tutorial on Keynote, which is a free presentation software by Apple for Mac users. So if you don't have access to a Mac computer, Apple computer, then Figma, Canva, Photoshop, PowerPoint are all optional software. It doesn't really matter which software you use. I know that a lot of filmmakers are using Mac software, so that's why I'm going to use it on the free Apple software. But in essence, it is all the same, just the technology is different. But yeah, let's dive into this tutorial. All right, let's dive into this one. So the project that I'm going to create a treatment for is the Superphone X commercial that I used to write a template text for in one of the previous videos about writing a treatment. So I have published all the text that ChatGPT has helped me generate for this commercial in the Google Docs. In the links below, you can download them and go through that yourself. And we are going to create the slides using this template text. Now, what I have also done is I have already created a few boards. So I'm using 3, I think they are the best visual reference tools for filmmakers. So the first one is called FrameSet, the second is called Flim, and the third one is called ShotDeck. So I have partnered with all 3 of them. So if you want to get access to free trials and nice discounts, you can use the links in the description below. And there are also discount codes next to them. So yeah, I highly recommend giving them a try. So what I have done, I am going to I'm going to create a treatment, one for a solicited pitch deck, so which is the creative agency, in this case for Superphone X, has created a commercial script, and they are looking for a director to bring their vision to life. And for an unsolicited pitch, so I have an idea for a film. In this case, it was the Sound of Justice project, a TV series, and we are looking for investment, so we want to create like a film pitch deck. So yeah, I have already went ahead and created a few boards. So this is FrameSet, for example. You have the first option is to browse through commercials, music videos, and find all these amazing stills, different camera techniques, different shot types. Also a lot of filters. You can prompt it. You can search for saturation, color, spectrums, aspect ratios, frame sizes. Frame set, definitely. In terms of layout and user experience, it is my favorite one so far. I have created 2 sets, so for Superphone X. So what I've done is I have browsed through the database of frame set. Otherwise, this tutorial would have been 6 hours. So I have scrolled through the data sets of frame set. So I, for example, typed in phone. Oh, phone. I've typed in phone and then started looking for images that would sort of match the text that I've written for my treatment. So, for example, this one. If I like this one, I could dive deeper into the stills from this particular project, or I can click on this one. All this stuff that I'm sharing, by the way, all this tutorial stuff is heavily based on how it currently works and looks like. So in the future, if you might see this tutorial in a year, then of course the user experience might be completely different. But yeah, so let's say I like this still, I might save it to Superphone X. I already did so. And well, let's save this one as well. So right now it is saved in my set. So here on the left side here, it includes 191 images already for this project. So I've found all these amazing stills. So just to give a short recap, so this commercial was about, the concept was about a vlogger that was struggling with all the equipment tools, and then the Superphone X would be the go-to source, like a sort of Apple kind of product that would allow you to stream, upload, edit, record all the necessary tools and equipment, have all the necessary tools and equipment within one device, and it would be shot in Morocco. These are some of the visuals that I have found so far. So let's say I like this visual. I'll click here on the download button. It will download, and I'll go to Keynote, and let's start with the first page. Let's do it like this and add some text. So that would be, this by the way is Grammarly. It helps me to skip all the spelling and grammar mistakes that I might make. So Superphone X text. So what I highly recommend is using these style elements. So this is a title. Let's go with Poppins, bold, black maybe, and 50. So Superphone X. So as I mentioned before, readability is super important. So white on white might be something you want to avoid. So let's make this thing a little bigger. So 1920 by 1080. Like this. Superphone X, something like this, or Superphone X. And then let's say we want another font that is not available here. We can go to Google Fonts. Type in a font you like. I like this one. Get fonts, download all. Then we go to downloads. Install. And sometimes you might have to reopen. Well, let's save this for a second. Superphone X, desktop, that's fine for now. And we want to make sure that the treatment is perceived. So Superphone X, we've done this. So title. So every time I use the title tag here, let's make sure that this is all caps. So every time I now say I want to make director treatment by if I use the title tag right now, then it immediately takes the layout features of the title tag. But this is a title small, maybe a subtitle. So right now we want to go for the Yoast font. Now, as you can see, it is not available here. So we might have to close Keynote for now and then reopen it again. So Superphone X. And now it should be available. No, maybe like this. Fonts, show fonts. And then we find it. All fonts. There it is. Treatment by. All caps. And 20. Treatment by. Let's make it Robin Piré. All caps, yep. And 50 as well. Now it can happen that the creative agency might say, well, we need this to be like more of a universal document. So as if the production company has submitted it, and then you might have to leave this out. But you know, it really depends on the product, on the project itself. So yeah, let's go with something like this for now. Just for the sake of it, we're going to add a new page, blank page. And this one we will be keeping it for the context. So we want to add an index page. So let's go with pop-ins again. So I'm going to use two fonts for this specific treatment. So one for the headings, which are like the titles, and the Yoast I'm going to use for subtitles and for the text itself. So title small, I'll use pop-ins. I'll make it all caps as well. And I'm going to use this contents. Contents is also possible. All caps. Let's go with 50 and 30. And here I'm going to write down in a minute which chapters we are going to include. For now, let's go to the Superphone X. So first we want to include a introduction. So text, introduction, and this is a body text. Now, as you might notice that there are still some placeholders in here. As I mentioned in the writing chapter as well, this is all literally the stuff that ChatGPT just spit out. I have copied that, pasted it in a docs document so you can read through it. But, you know, never use exactly what ChatGPT has spit out. You have to reframe it in a way that it becomes your tone of voice. But it is just a tool to beat the writer's block as fast as possible. So yeah, cheers, Robin. Let's go with the body. And so in the body will be Yoast. 25 spacing. Past 10 years. So this is the easiest way I'm going to show you right now, and that is by simply halving the images like this, like this, maybe like this, maybe a little bit too small. We'll keep it for now. Let's just, maybe a title. Introduction. Let's save this one as well. Title small. Title. We can use this one maybe. introduction. And what I have talked about as well is what might be interesting and is easy to include as well is a slide number. So it is always easy to reference during calls, like on slide 6 or slide 7. Let's go through the art direction, the story, the script, instead of just saying, well, on the 5th page after the art direction. It is much easier to reference. So you can place them on the side. Always looks very nice. Or just at the bottom. Let's maybe do it like this. Introduction. And then you always have these nice styling elements, like a simple line. Which can help create a sleek feature. Don't know if we're gonna keep this, but just for now. Let's keep it like this. I'll change the image later. So we now have the introduction. Now the easiest way, so the introduction is here. The easiest way to create a treatment is just to flip this text, move this one to the background, and then voila, we have a new slide design. That is the easiest way. You can also play around with the formatting of the text or to keep everything. I won't recommend doing it like this, but this might be a possibility just to create this sleek block of text. And now the next chapter was a thank you. So we might want to create a thank you for this. So thank you. Oh. Thank you. This is the body text. Might be too small still. Let's go with this one. So body text. Thank you. This is the text. Big thanks. Here's my vision for the commercial. Body text. Maybe a bit bigger. Let's go with the caption. Also Jost. 40 maybe. Too big. 30. So big thanks. So let's see if we can find another picture. So Superphonics. So what I found out is the real big difference between all of these different platforms is that I think Flim or ShotDeck has the easiest workflow experience. Has the it's very visually focused, and then you can, if you like, dive more into the filters on the left side. On Flim, I also was able to create boards, and what I think Flim really does, it's a very cool feature, is this one here. AI. So if, let's say, I like this picture and this one, or this one and this one, but it is not the perfect picture yet, then I can use AI to generate an image for me. So right now it is generating a picture. So it took a minute or so, and now it has created this image. Not my favorite image, but you get the deal. Here on the side, you get an idea of the sort of remix that it has created. Sometimes it does it perfectly right. Sometimes not. As with AI at this stage, it might be super efficient, super more perfect in the future. I found out that Flim is more. The database goes back so much further. It's more RT focused, and while Flim is more, I would say, maybe modern focused. And both platforms have GIFs and stills. So let's download this one. I think it's a GIF. Google, no, it's a still. All right. Thank you. So image replace, downloads, favorites, downloads, Google. Yep. Might not be the best picture. Let's find something else. So the thing with creating treatments, it's a lot of trial and error. You have to just find something that aligns with your vision and try out so much stuff. Because sometimes the image is amazing in itself, but it just doesn't really align with the layout of the treatment, and you have to find something else, or it doesn't allow you to create, to download or to include a lot of beautiful text. So for example, this one, it doesn't really matter where I align the text, or maybe if I align it like this. But I'd rather have it in the middle. It is a lot of trial and error. So maybe this one is better. See, this one looks nice. I don't know yet if it aligns with the style of the direction that I want to go with this. But, let's keep it for now. Introduction. Thank you, have we had. Introduction. Let's go to the next chapter. So that is a project summary. Project summary. Like this. So we paste in the text again. It's the body text. Let's go a little bit bigger. Might be a bit too much. So what we can do as well, copy this so we always have something to fall back on. So remove all of this text for now. All right, this also might be a possibility. So this would be the, what is it? Project summary. So summary like this, something like this, for example, maybe a line of text, sleek design elements, maybe not, maybe in the middle, could also be possible. Oh. Yeah, this has something, looks sexy. Now you might say, well, I don't really know if I want to go with the white versus black. Now let's change that for now. Let's go change this to a black text. Black. And this one, the line, also stroke, black, which also is perfectly, perfect. Looks also very cool. It depends on the direction, the style of the project, on the brief, what they have submitted to you. Is it like mainly dark focused, or is it the direction that you want to go? Is it like a dark theme project, or you can just use both? That's also perfectly fine. So these are the easy pages. We can go to the next one. And in the beginning, it is just going through all the chapters that you have written and create a page for them. And this will help you so much, like creating your treatment as fast as possible. And as you can see, the images are the thing that most of the time, let's use the white background for this as well. Images are the thing that really make your treatment stand out. So I highly recommend diving deep into the images, like I did here. So, this was the phone commercial. Let's download a few images. What I always make sure when I search for images is that, for example, this image has this negative space on the side, which is very good for titles and for text. So when you have a lot of stuff that's happening in the center or all around the frame, then there's not much space left for text placement. And at the end of the day, we need text to convey the ideas that we have. So, for example, if we do it like this, then it is perfectly fine to, especially with the girl looking to her right, so it emphasizes even more that the focus should be on the right side. So make it a little bit bigger, or use the body sample. This might be, it's not perfect, but you get an idea. And what I also highly recommend doing is creating these like mood boards, like these collages of text. So, for example, this one, and this one. So what I also like to do when searching for images is, most of the time you won't be able to find the exact image of the idea that you have described, and that's perfectly fine as long as you have a sort of collage of images that sort of convey the same feeling that you are after. So the person that's reading the treatment can get a sense of, what you are after. And as you might have noticed, that during the in this set of images, and also in this set of images, and on Shot Deck as well, you can also browse the titles here. Also a beautiful resource. Also movies, TV series, commercials, and music videos. You can create collages, decks. So here I also created 2 decks. So Superphone X, not as many images so far. And with Shot Deck, you can also search in the color spectrum of the image itself. But yeah, I really like these sort of abstract kind of images. So when I click on this one, or here you can, let's say I like this image. If I click here, it searches for a similar kind of visuals. And oh, this one's nice as well. So vague and abstract is usually fine, unless the creative agency really demands you to bring up very specific visuals. How do you envision bringing this idea to life? Yeah, let's go here. Let's create a short collage. As I mentioned before, if you are working on an Apple product commercial, make sure you are not using the competitor products. And this is 1080 in size. So what we can do, 1080 divided by 2 is 540. So the height is 540. And this one should be like this. 960, and voila. And now we can image, replace. And we need another one, something that is in line with the previous images. Let's go to the deck. Oh yeah, there's also some great filters here to prevent seeing all the stuff that you don't want to see. Or you do, can also be possible. But what you will understand when you are trying to create a treatment for a commercial is that it's more visual heavy, because it's, at the end of the day, they are looking for a director to provide them direction in how to bring this commercial idea to life. So it is more visual heavy, and the film pitch deck layout that I'm going to share in a bit is more number heavy, because there you are pitching to investors, and investors are interested in making a return on their investment. And with those kind of pitches, it is more data heavy. So they are more interested in, okay, so how long do you want me to part with my money? What is the chance of me making it back? What is the potential return on my investment? And how are you going to make sure that I'm going to actually get that return on my investment? While here it is more based on, okay, so we have this idea, how do you envision it bringing it to life? So with the Superphone X commercial, I might have the idea of a very colorful commercial, or a very raw commercial, or there are so many different interpretations of the same idea, and that is what you are selling within this kind of treatment. So it is more visual heavy, while the film pitch deck is more text-based, like numbers, data-based heavy. But with like the simplest form would be the title, then we go into contents, then an introduction, a thank you. You don't have to include a thank you. We can also leave that out. And then the next chapter would be so project summary, concept summary, or we can even include a log line as well. Here, log line. So concept summary would be the next one. Concept summary. And the easiest form to do it is go an image on the left, an image on the right. You can also divide the screen in half. So was it 540? Like this. Or we can make it 2 layouts. Concept summary. It needs a bit more. No, let's skip this line. Concept summary, so that would be problem, solution, and outcome. Just body. Could be a way to do it. There is no right or wrong. It is just personal preference. Also with this, if you don't like the font, the styling, we can go smaller, we can go bigger, as long as the readability is always a priority. Skip this line. Also possible. Make this smaller. As I mentioned, it's a long process of trial and error, trying a lot of things. And as I mentioned before, if you want to fast track the process, robinpirret.com/shop, in which I have created a lot of templates already for you. And what you can do here is simply drag and drop your own images, replace the text with your own, and off you go. And it will save you many hours of work of starting from scratch. Let's continue with this one. So let's go with the white one. I think I like that better. I'll change the other ones later. So we have some mood boards. As mentioned before, what we want to do is add disclaimers at the end. So I highly recommend just in this beginning stage, put everything down on paper as fast as possible to get going as fast as possible. and sort of break your designer's block. Body, make it black. Disclaimer. Yeah. And then, I can continue doing this for all the pages, but at the end of the day, it is a process of searching for images using either ShotDeck, Flim, or FrameSet. And I highly recommend creating sets. So, you might be surprised by certain images, or you might initially had an idea of, well, this is how it should look like, this is what it should be, and while you are scrolling through all these references, you might find something or a style or an element that you find very interesting. Like, for example, you might really like the color spectrum of this image, and then you search for similar images, and then you find another image, and it's all about just going into this rabbit hole of visual research. And yes, this takes time. It took me a few hours to combine these two decks of images for these two projects. But yeah, the images are what will make your treatment stand out and make it really set yourself apart from the rest. And what I also highly recommend doing is, so for example, if you are creating a tab for the casting, for example. Is this no? This is not casting. Sometimes what might be very nice as well is just to have an image page like this, or an image page like this without any text, because it breaks up the flow. So when you read something and then you have an image to sort of digest the previous page, and it breaks up the flow of having constant text on the images or on the pages. And what sometimes also might work as well is just to have one word or a quote. So what you would do in this case would be Google phone quote, for example, or travel quote, because the project was about a travel vlogger, travel quote, images, and then let's wonder where the Wi-Fi is weak. A bit contradictory with the phone commercial, but all right, let's do it. Let's wonder where the Wi-Fi is weak. And then we use the quotes. We go with the pop-ins. Maybe not 100, maybe 60. All caps. 100 this one. 30 maybe. Black. And let's create another slide. White background. Let's wonder where the Wi-Fi is weak. Not the best yet, but you get the idea. Is that a quote can be a very nice way, just like a slide filled with images, to break up the predictable slide formula of a treatment and keep things interesting. So yeah, we could do the same. We could add it doesn't really align with the image, but you get the point. It's just a nice feature of to break up the predictable slide formula. And you can make these collages as sophisticated as you like. So we can make this half. What I always do is, on the right side, you have these image proportion sides. And when you double click on an image, you get into the framing of the image. So when the original width was 960, then half is 480. So 480. So this one is exactly the same. And then you don't have these, like this. It perfectly aligns with the rest. Maybe, perfectly aligns. But sometimes you have these black lines in here. So sometimes it makes sense to make it a little bit bigger. So 1 or 2 pixels bigger, and then play around with place it to the front or the back. So front or back. And so the images like overlap each other. So this little gap is filled with blacks, because sometimes it looks a bit sloppy if you have these little lines. And I've seen it with other treatments as well, as people don't really take these small details serious, but it's the perfectionist in myself that really likes having all these sort of seamless, beautiful, sleek design documents. But yeah, we can use quotes, we can use background images with text, we can use photo collages with images. Let's go to Flim. Also, great resource. As mentioned before, I think here it is more, I think they have more arty kind of visuals, while FrameSet is more sleek and modern and really high-end cinema, just like ShotDeck. But I think I just prefer this layout more than the others for some reason. Downloads. Let's see what else we can find. So this would be a beautiful image for the production chapter. So let's do production text title, make it black. We can also, because right now the previous one was title with a white. Now we have created a title with a black. So we create a new title. We call it title black. So production. Now let's import the image. This one. Make it a bit smaller even. Or we can say production timelines, which is also very nice. And then we add these lines. This is not necessary, but it might be necessary for your specific project. And then these things, maybe a little bigger. 3. So that would be pre-production, production, which is usually, let's keep it like this. Then post-production, then maybe final review, and then delivery. Something like this. So that would be pre-production, black, body black. Let's make that all caps. No. Medium, pre-production. Production, post-production, final reviews, and delivery. This might not be something that you include in all your treatments, because usually when you are working with a production company, they will take care of this. But if it might be nice to just have this in your your treatment. So no matter who, doesn't matter which person picks it up, they always have all the answers to all their questions. So this would then be like date X, or you can place that in front of pre-production, doesn't matter. Date X, and date X. So something like this could be possible. Yeah. What else do we have? Final notes, locations. So let's see what we can do with this. Maybe it is nice. So 1080 divided by 3 is 360. Width is 360. 640. And then we take this and we do the same here. Flim. Let's see if we can find something beautiful here. Downloads. And downloads. Image, replace. Might not be the best option. Maybe just go with this. And then we take a title. Locations. So readability is the most important thing. Not sure if this is the best image for that. Maybe it is, if we do it like this. Because white against a darker background, still not perfect, because you might use something like Photoshop to remove this white text because it distracts, or you just pick a different image, or you play around with tools like your exposure. Not the best way to do it in this case. Or contrast, also not the best option, or saturation, which helps a little bit, but it takes away some of the charm and maybe some of the aesthetics and the styling that we want to go with for this project. So this is how you create a treatment. It is a long process of trial and error, or long process. It is basically starting, copying the text, and trying to find a way to create a visually stunning document that aligns with the vision that you want to convey to your client. And I'd say, try to break up the slides as much as possible. The predictable slide formula. So although you might like this kind of styling or this kind of styling, try to break it up here and there by using these sort of mood boards where you pick images in different, for example, these 3 images. And what else do we have? This one, for example. And maybe this one. No, it's a bit off. Maybe this one. Yeah, could work. So yeah, try to play around with the different slide designs. And what I also highly recommend doing, because otherwise it is so static. But this all depends on the audience. If you are pitching a treatment to a very high-end business, then it makes sense to use words like executive summary. But if you're pitching your ideas to young creatives who have the same vocabulary as you do, then it might make more sense, instead of saying introduction, like nice to meet you, or hi there, or let's go, or let's do this, or locations might say this is where the magic happens, and then in a way that it actually is readable. Production timelines, or if this would be the casting, for example, we could do something like meet the beauties, and then make that white, or meet the faces, or we could make this 250, like this. There are so many options. There is no right or wrong. It depends entirely on your direction. It depends entirely on your vision for the project. And designing stuff all comes with experience and a lot of trial and error. So do you see it with the speed that I do it with? There are people who can do it way faster than me. And there are people who can do it slower than me. And if you want to fast track your process, grab one of the templates that I've designed for you. So you can speed up this process and have something to bounce your ideas off, and the layout to work as fast as possible. So yeah, that's it for this one. Let me show you how to create more like a film pitch deck, because in essence it works the same, but with a film pitch deck, like I mentioned, it is more number based. So you also have the project summary, logline, story, etc. Again, this is the text that ChatGPT has spit out. I haven't read this text exactly word by word, but yeah, it is not the perfect text to just copy and paste and simply use that for your treatment. You have to read it, you have to refine it, you have to reframe it using tools like ChatGPT and prompt it to say, make this text longer, make it more witty, make it more, rewrite it in a way that a 5-year-old or rewrite it on 5th grade English. But yeah, for the film pitch deck, there are other things important, because you are pitching to investors and those are more interested in numbers. So for example, a tab like comparables, where you might be interesting. An investor might be thinking, well, okay, so what in the market or in the current market looks like this kind of project, and what has been their success rate. So you might include data from comparable projects, and then you would need to download some film posters. So Sound of Justice was the project name. And film title 1. I think the text also included comparable. I see, True Detective texts 20. I'm going to take some like this. Comparables. And then we include data like this. Oh. Freeform, body. Take Yoast for now. Or you might take something else. No, let's go with this for now. This one, 0, 0, and then 15. A little bigger. Box office. This is something that you can find using some of the resources that I've shared in the previous videos before as well. So yeah, you would create more slides like this. You still need visuals because investors are not necessarily visual thinkers. They are more data-driven persons most of the time, or financial-driven people. So it is more about the data. You can also use different colors. For example, if we go and do something like, let's see, maybe orange is a good, red one maybe, I don't know. Let's go with orange for now. You can play around with color and thickness of fonts to highlight specific things in slides that you like them to get them noticed. So market analysis might be something as well. Audience research, financial predictions, and I think when it comes to data, it is very important that it's easy to digest. So, for example, when an investor sees something like this, financial predictions, and you put this on a wall like this, okay, they might read it, but they might not read it. So you want to make it as interesting for them to read, so they actually read what you have to offer. So we might use more visual stuff. So we could do something like this. So fill, no fill, border line. This one. And then we go with budget. $10 million. Or maybe investment. And then we take this. Now, when you are pitching data, you also always have to make sure that the data that you are pitching is actually, it is the right data, because data never lies, and you don't want to be promising things that you cannot bring to life. So when you are going to promise what I'm going to promise, or what the text that we have written using ChatGPT promises, you want to make sure that you can actually achieve that. So this is investment 10 million, and then ROI, which is return on investment, would be 8 million. And then we can, break this down. Like this maybe. So the thing that we had written was 1 million pre-production costs, post-production costs, 7 million marketing, etc. So we could put these numbers, what is it, 10, we do it like 1M. 7M, and then break down these costs and use some text to clarify what this is. So what is it, pre of production? And what you can do perhaps is include a budget sheet which the producer has made if you have one on board. So production, and in pre-production, post-production, marketing, etc. You get the point. You can make this as fancy as you like, but instead of doing this, you give a simpler, more easy to digestible overview of the stuff that you want to communicate. So for an investor, it is very simple to see, all right, if I give this person my money, this is the potential ROI that I can get for this project. And this is how long I will part with my money. And so you have to give a better business idea or a business proposal to somebody instead of just saying, hey, I have this cool idea. Here is my, this is what I want from you. Give it to me, which makes no sense. So you have to make business sense to business people. And the best way to do that is to offer them a great business solution to make big money. You do that by creating a document that is easy to digest with all like number-based data. So yeah, this is the stuff that we have included in the or that we have created with ChatGPT. This is how you create treatments. Also with the film pitch deck, I highly recommend you use a lot of beautiful images. You can make these slides, by the way, if I mentioned this as well, you can use different sort of layouts. This is 16 by 9. You can also go 4 by 3. Might screw it up a little bit. Might have to change those. But you can also go custom slides. So 1920 by 817, for example. You get this widescreen, which for a movie might work better. Or even for this one. Document, custom slides. 817. See, might work as well. And then, when somebody receives it, it is a very nice and visually packed experience. So yeah, that is how you design a treatment. Use the text and create the text in a way that I have explained earlier, and then use a software like Keynote or a software like Canva, Photoshop, PowerPoint, Google Slides. The list goes on and on and on. There are even AI tools like pitch.com, beautiful.ai, and I'm sure that in the future there will come many, many more as AI evolves and becomes more and more powerful. So we are back in my computer. We have created a treatment, and now the goal is to make an export that can be viewed by everyone and not just by you. So we are not sending the Keynote file or the Canva file or the Google Slides file. We want to send a PDF document which sort of freezes all the slides, and so that it's not changeable by anyone else or corrupted or whatever. In Keynote, this is done via file and then export to PDF, and you can use best or good. And as I mentioned before, the most important thing is that it is you can attach it to an email, and to attach it to an email, you want to keep the file size as small as possible, because otherwise people cannot watch it. So good or better is usually it compresses the file size. So let's go with. I'm exporting my presentation right now. I'll save it to my desktop. And let's see how big it will be, the file size. So this one is the file size, and it is very small. Let me quickly open this one. So this is a template that I'm currently creating. So let me export this. So PDF. I'll save it in the best version. So desktop, June, exports, exporting file, and June. So this one is 28 MB. Now what I can do as well is when I do file and then reduce file size, and what it will do is it will compress all the images, and so the current size is 75 MB and it will go down to 29, but that will be mostly the file size of the presentation itself. So what I can do, reduce file size. So reduce a copy. I'll save it. Low res. Saving. Let's open this one. Let's open this one. And now we are going to export it as a PDF. Best save. Low res exports. low-res export. And this file size is 5.3 MB. So the previous one was 28, and this one already is 5.3. Now it might be that we want to have this file even smaller. Now if you have an Adobe subscription, you can open Adobe Acrobat, and then we are going to export compress PDF. Okay, low res. Let's do that for now. Reducing file size, and let's see what it came up with. 3.1. So we went from 28 to 5.3 to 3.1. So yeah, that's how you compress a file size. And as you can see, the resolution of the images is still perfectly fine. So that is very important to do. So we want to export as a PDF document, and we want to then make sure that the file size is as small as possible. So exporting. Before you export, make sure that you read out loud. So before you finalize your treatment, I strongly suggest reading your presentation slide by slide out loud. At least once, what seems clear in your mind might not translate as well on paper, and hearing the words can help you catch any inconsistencies or awkward phrasing. Then PDF export. So as I just mentioned, once your pitch document is complete, convert it to a PDF. This format is ideal for sharing because it preserves the layout and design, ensuring that your pitch looks the same on any device your recipient uses. And then you can create tailored exports as well. So ideally, you have one document that works for everyone. However, given that everyone's time is limited, it's wise to ask your crew which sections are most relevant to them. You can then create separate exports for the specific sections they need, because to be honest, not everyone is going to read the entire document, especially when you are working on big jobs and you have created a 50 to 100 page treatment. And yes, this really happens. Then the cinematographer might only be interested in reading the look and feel and the camera work section or in the script section, and they don't really care about all the other stuff. So simply ask them, if they need a tailored export, and then you export as you go. Now, an online link. If your treatment includes dynamic visuals like GIFs created in Adobe InDesign, you can create an online link to your document. However, I generally recommend sticking to a simple PDF. Relying on an internet connection can be risky, and excessive motion in your treatment presentation might distract from your message. A straightforward PDF export is often the most reliable choice. And what you will notice as well is that you put so much effort into finding the right GIFs and creating an amazing moving document. Yes, this can help you distinct yourself from all the others, but sometimes people just want to read a simple PDF document because they are on a ride, on a plane, on a whatever, and they don't have internet connection, and they might end up asking for a PDF document at the end as well. So yes, you can create an InDesign, submit a link, and if they want to have an export as a PDF, at the end of the day, you can export your InDesign as a PDF as well. But no, I find GIFs very distracting in the treatment. Everybody has their own preference. Try it out yourself and see what works for you. There's no right or wrong. And then, as I just showed you, we want to compress the file size. So if your file exceeds 10 megabytes, it won't be attachable to an email. So you'll need to reduce its size. Apple users can do this using the Preview app, while Adobe Acrobat is another effective tool for compressing file size. And then, if you prefer to keep your file size large and it exceeds 10 megabytes, you'll need to use an external service to send it. Options include WeTransfer, MyAirBridge, Google Drive, Dropbox, and many similar platforms. Just Google them. WeTransfer is up to 2 gigabytes for free at the time of this recording. MyAirBridge is 20 gigabytes. Google Drive, limitless. Dropbox, etc. But at some point you will have to pay for space. So reduce the file size, the easiest and cheapest option. If you don't want to do that, then these are the alternatives. All right, let's summarize this very, very long chapter of the Direct Treatment Masterclass. Now, customization over rules. There are no strict rules for design of your treatment. The focus should be on customizing it to fit the job, your style, and effectively solving the client's problem, because you are selling a solution to a problem. If the treatment is as beautiful as it can be, but it doesn't solve the problem, the client won't like that and they will not hire you. And you've lost the pitch and you have wasted a lot of time designing a beautiful document. Then simplicity and readability. Keep your design simple to ensure the focus remains on your ideas. Prioritize the readability of your text, as clear communication is key to selling your solution. Then imagery. Incorporate high quality images that align with your project's theme to enhance the professionalism and emotional impact of your presentation. Avoid low quality or watermarked visuals. If you want to see some stuff how not to do it, watch the previous video again. I go over it one by one about what to do and what not to do with examples. And then attention to detail. Every element in your document affects how your ideas are perceived, so be mindful of how each design choice might impact your message. Small details can lead to unintended interruptions. So avoid competitor products, and really drill down on what the agency wants. If they want really, really specific answers, then really include really, really specific images. If they don't, it is better to have vague or subjective images, as I've used in these sets. So here, this one, so Sound of Justice as well. I've used all these beautiful close-ups of eyes and vague traffic lights, because there's so much ambience in these pictures instead of just this is it. So there's still a lot of room for interpretation, and at this stage of pitching an idea to someone, a lot of the stuff, it depends on the project of course, but a lot of stuff there hasn't been made a lot of hard choices yet. So I highly recommend using sort of interpret images that can be freely interpreted, although they should align with the mood and feeling of the text. And then the last one is efficient presenting and sharing. So consider using templates for quick design solutions, and always export your final document as a PDF for consistency across devices. Compress file sizes for easy sharing, or use external services for larger files. So I want to finish this episode with another beautiful quote: design is the intermediary between information and understanding. So what we don't want to do is submit a text document and say, this is what we want to do. We want to create a beautiful document that facilitates the bridge between what you have in your mind and what people will finally see on the screen, and use it as a translation tool to sell the problem, or to sell the solution that you have in mind for solving the problem. All right, that's it. The eighth episode of the Direct Treatment Masterclass. I hope you liked it. I hope you have learned something. Again, I'm not a professional. At least I was a professional. Again, you don't have to agree with everything that I'm sharing. I have no Oscars or Emmys on the shelf. But if you can take away one thing that can help you land your next client and win the next pitch, then this will be worth it for you. All right, so in the next chapters, I'm going to finalize this course, share some final tips on how to submit the treatment, how do we add some extra sense of urgency, my final tips on creating treatments. I'm also going to share some tips and tricks on how to actually get clients. How do you actually get the opportunity to pitch a treatment? How do you actually find clients as a filmmaker to pitch treatments to? And some tools, because there are some secret and hidden tools that you can use to find people's email addresses. And this really, really works. And I'm going to add a final bonus about, which I'm going to talk about, winning without pitching. So how do we get to a point whereby pitching is no longer necessary and it's just a process of going through the formalities, discussing the budget, and still sharing a vision for the project, of course. But you have already won the pitch because your repetition has preceded you. That's for the next episodes. I hope you liked it. I hope you enjoyed it. If you don't mind, like, subscribe. You know the drill, and I'll see you in the next one.